பட்டணத்துக்கு வேலை தேடி வந்திருக்கே, உனக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் பேச வருமா?
கிராமத்துல இருந்து இப்பதான் பட்டணத்துக்கு வந்திருக்கான். இவனுக்கு எப்படி சார் இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியும்?
Shut up. I can talk English, I can walk English, I can laugh English, you bloody fellow. Vayapuri in Tamil becomes Vaipuri in English and Belpuri in Hindi. Sir, English is a very funny language, sir.
And the most important verbs. Part 1. 10 The most important verbs. Part 1. 10 The most important verbs. Part 1. Page 21. Page 21. Page 21. To advise. To advise. To advise. To agree, say yes. To agree, say yes. To agree, say yes. To answer. To answer. To answer. To apologize. To apologize. To apologize. To arrive. To arrive. To arrive. To ask oneself. To ask oneself. To ask oneself. To ask SB to do STH. To ask SB to do STH. To ask SB to do STH. To be afraid. To be afraid. To be afraid. To be hungry. To be hungry. To be hungry. To be interested in. To be interested in. To be interested in. To be needed. To be needed. To be needed. To be surprised. To be surprised. To be surprised. To be thirsty. To be thirsty. To be thirsty. To begin. To begin. To begin. To belong to. To belong to. To belong to. To boast. To boast. To boast. To break, split into pieces. To break, split into pieces. To break, split into pieces. To call. To call. To call. Can, v auxiliary. Can, v auxiliary. Can, v auxiliary. To catch. To catch. To catch. To change. To change. To change. To choose, select. To choose, select. To choose, select. To come down, the stairs. To come down, the stairs. To come down, the stairs. To compare. To compare. To compare. To complain. To complain. To complain. To confuse, mix up. To confuse, mix up. To confuse, mix up. To continue. To continue. To continue. To control. To control. To control. To cook, dinner. To cook, dinner. To cook, dinner. Page 22. Page 22. Page 22. To cost. To cost. To cost. To count, add up. To count, add up. To count, add up. To count on. To count on. To count on. To create, to create, to create, to cry, weep. To cry, weep. To cry, weep. 11 The most important verbs. Part 2. 11 The most important verbs. Part 2. 11 The most important verbs. Part 2. To deceive. To deceive. To deceive. To decorate, tree, street. To decorate, tree, street. To decorate, tree, street. To defend, a country, etc. To defend, a country, etc. To defend, a country, etc. To demand, request firmly. To demand, request firmly. To demand, request firmly. To dig. To dig. To dig. To discuss. To discuss. To discuss. To do. To do. To do. To doubt, have doubts. To doubt, have doubts. To doubt, have doubts. To drop, let fall. to drop, let fall, to drop, let fall, to enter, room, house, etc., to enter, room, house, etc., to enter, room, house, etc., to excuse, forgive, to excuse, forgive, to excuse, forgive, to exist, to exist, to exist, to expect, foresee, to expect, foresee, to expect, foresee, to explain, to explain, to explain, to fall, to fall, to fall, to fancy, to fancy, to fancy, to find, to find, to find, to finish, to finish, to finish, to fly, to fly, to fly, to follow, come, come after, to follow, come, come after, to follow, come, come after, to forget, to forget, to forget. Page 23, page 23, page 23, to forgive, to forgive, to forgive, to give, to give, to give, to give a hint, to give a hint, to give a hint, to go, on foot, to go, on foot, to go, on foot, to go for a swim, to go for a swim, to go for a swim, to go out, for dinner, etc., to go out, for dinner, etc., to go out, for dinner, etc., to guess, the answer, to guess, the answer, to guess, the answer, to have, to have, to have, to have breakfast, to have breakfast, to have breakfast, to have dinner, to have dinner, to have dinner, to have lunch, to have lunch, to have lunch, to hear, to hear, to hear, to help, to help, to help, to hide, to hide, to hide, to hope, to hope, to hope, to hunt, to hunt, to hunt, to hurry, to hurry, to hurry. 12 The most important verbs. Part 3. 12 The most important verbs. Part 3. 12 The most important verbs. Part 3. To inform, to inform, to inform, to insist. To insist. To insist. To insult, to insult, to insult, to invite. To invite. To invite. To joke. To joke. To joke. To keep, to keep, to keep, to keep silent. To keep silent. To keep silent. To kill, to kill, to kill, to know, SB. To know, SB. To know, SB. To know, STH. To know, STH. To know, STH. Page 24. Page 24. Page 24. To laugh. To laugh. To laugh. To liberate, city, etc. To liberate, city, etc. To liberate, city, etc. To look for, search, search. To look for, search, search. To look for, search, search. To love, SB. To love, SB. To love, SB. To make a mistake. To make a mistake. To make a mistake. To manage, to run. To manage, to run. To manage, to run. To mean, signify. To mean, signify. To mean, signify. To mention, talk about. To mention, talk about. To mention, talk about. To miss, school, etc. To miss, school, etc. To miss, school, etc. To notice, see. To notice, see. To notice, see. To object. To object. To object. To observe, see. To observe, see. To observe, see. To open. To open. To open. To order, meal, etc. To order, meal, etc. To order, meal, etc. To order, mil. To order, mil. To order, mil. To own, possess. To own, possess. To own, possess. To participate. To participate. To participate. To pay. To pay. To pay. To permit, to permit, to permit, to plan. To plan. To plan. To play, children. To play, children. To play, children. To pray. To pray. To pray. To prefer. To prefer. To prefer. To promise. To promise. To promise. To pronounce. To pronounce. To pronounce. To propose. To propose. To propose. To punish, to punish, to punish. Page 14. Page 25. Page 25. Page 25. 13 The most important verbs. Part 4. 13 The most important verbs. Part 4. 13 The most important verbs. Part 4. Page 25. Page 25. Page 25. To read. To read. To read. To recommend. To recommend. To recommend. To refuse. To refuse. To refuse. To regret, be sorry. To regret, be sorry. To regret, be sorry. To rant, sth from sb. To rant, sth from sb. To rant, sth from sb. To repeat, say again. To repeat, say again. To repeat, say again. To reserve, to book. To reserve, to book. To reserve, to book. To run. To run. To run. To save, rescue. To save, rescue. To save, rescue. To say, thank you. To say, thank you. To say, thank you. To scold. To scold. To scold. To see. To see. To see. To sell. To sell. To sell. To send. To send. To send. To shoot. To shoot. To shoot. To shout, to shout, to shout, to show. To show. To show. To sign, document. To sign, document. To sign, document. To sit down. To sit down. To sit down. To smile. To smile. To smile. To speak. To speak. To speak. To steal, money, etc. To steal, money, etc. To steal, money, etc. To stop, for pause, etc. To stop, for pause, etc. To stop, for pause, etc. To stop, please calling me. To stop, please calling me. To stop, please calling me. To study. To study. To study. To swim. To swim. To swim. To take. To take. To take. To think, to think, to think, to threaten. To threaten. To threaten. Page 26. Page 26. Page 26. To touch, with hands. To touch, with hands. To touch, with hands. To translate, to translate, to translate, to trust. To trust. To trust. To try, attempt. To try, attempt. To try, attempt. To turn, e.g., left. To turn, e.g., left. To turn, e.g., left. To underestimate. To underestimate. To underestimate. To understand. To understand. To understand. To unite. To unite. To unite. To wait. To wait. To wait. To want, wish, desire. To want, wish, desire. To want, wish, desire. To warn, to warn, to warn, to work. To work. To work. To write. To write. To write. To write down. To write down. To write down. 14 colors.
And it is over, son. As lawyers are standing, sit down.
Oreva! என்ன இங்கிலீஷ் அமெரிக்கன் ஸ்பீச் லாங்குவேஜ் டாப்
In America, நாம தமிழ்லயே பேசுவோமே.
எஸ்